Hello, everyone. My name is Mary, and today I have a very special angel message for you. And the message is in answer to the question, what is the human collective ready to let go of? So I've got a beautiful message from Archangel Barachiel, and I also have some oracle cards and tarot cards to help clarify the message. And so first off, who is Archangel Barachiel? And the name is, there's many ways to spell the name, but I think one of the most common is Barachiel, and this is an angel. If there's so many archangels. And I had it open on my computer to read to you, but it doesn't, I think I closed it. Yes, so Barachiel is one of the archangels in Judaism, as well as Byzantine Catholic and Eastern Orthodox tradition. He is the Archangel of Blessings. And so I first want to acquaint you with my experience of this angel. Occasionally, in the past year, I've been, meeting new angels. Where a name will come into my head that I've never heard before, and I'll look it up. I usually start with the Dictionary of Angels. There's this old book that's I think free. It's on the public domain. There's a PDF of it somewhere. And so I usually start there to see if it's in there, and then I look on Google to see if the name is actually a real angel. And so this one came to me, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago. Oh, I can feel the angel. I don't know if you can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, this angel is so beautiful and so rich. And the angel is all about, to me, the angel introduced, I'm going to say himself, because it can be him or her. I think most angels are like that. I don't know. I don't know the gender studies of angels, so please don't take my pronouns seriously. Human pronouns don't work with angels in my experience, so we just do the best we can. So what I felt when I connected with Barachiel is that this angel is a gentle and loving presence, an angel that just definitely wants to bring you, gently more in line with the truth. And the truth of God. And the truth of God is that God is all love. And God is ready to give and give and give and bless you and bless you and bless you over and over again. And God lives within. So, and so does our free will live within us. And so that's why sometimes you don't feel like maybe you're being blessed a whole lot, is because there's this free will thing sort of colors how we see the world. But this archangel is very steadfast and is filled with life and color and blessings and just movement. And I see the color green when I connect with this angel. But anyway, so I had a message that I wanted to connect to the angelic realm and get an answer for. And because we are coming into spring cleaning, the spring equinox, we are getting to this place where we're ready for rebirth and renewal. And one of the things you do with your garden when you're ready to, replant and replenish it is you cut away some of the old stuff, you clear, there's work. There's a lot of work. I think in spring you might see a lot of bags full of, trimmed leaves and branches and things on this side of the road, because people have been cleaning out their gardens and getting ready for spring. I don't know much about gardening. If that's not the case, then do let me know. But this is the time where the human collective is, spiritually ready to leave behind the old year. We're spiritually ready for this beautiful rebirth that the spring equinox brings about. And so my question is, what is it we as the human collective are ready to move on from? What are we ready to let go of? What are we ready to put by the curb, so to speak. And so I connected to the angels, and Barachiel, which was a new one kind of for me, came in and was really insistent that he had a message for me. And so I have a guided message, a channeled message from Barachiel. Of course, the message, the channeling happens through my own head and my own thoughts and ideas. So when channeling happens, it can only, whatever the entity is, whether it's an angel or whatever, they can only, the tools they have are the tools that are already in your head. So, you know, that's the limitation of channeling. And so, but this is as clear as I could get, and I really felt his energy beautifully with us. So, what is the human collective ready to let go of? Here is Archangel Barachiel's response. Beloveds, you have manufactured a tremendous amount of change in your world. Be present and be grateful for all of it. You may move on from this or that, only to later realize that it was marvelous. Your lives are a stream of ever-changing, ever-constant blessings. The only way to let go is to appreciate the beauty of what was, of what you experienced. Are you ready to let go of the trauma, of the change, and the revelations of the past 3 years? Then now is the time to truly see it, to see as a blessing these past 3 or 4 years. God's blessings can't pass away until they have blessed you. The question is not, what are you ready to let go of, but what are you ready to truly be grateful for? What are you ready to see in its fullness? You were a part of this dramatic change that swept through the world starting around 2020. Even if you were a little child, you were a part of it. Everyone was touched and affected. There are blessings, lessons, and realizations to be harvested. Are you ready to see how you were blessed? What are you now ready to see the blessing in? I'm going to read that last line again because I feel it was the most powerful. What are you now ready to see the blessing in? Wow. So my question, Barachiel really swiftly put that question to bed, that it's not about letting go of something. It's not about trashing something or we don't need that anymore. It's about understanding. It's about up-leveling your mind and the level of wisdom with which you see the world so that you can truly see the blessing in what happened. One of the things that I can share from my own life is that I have epilepsy, and I've been seizure-free for many, many, many years now, but I had seizures for many years. And it wasn't until I could have the distance to see the blessing in every seizure, in everything that I experienced, to see the blessing in the non-seizures, the moments in between the seizures where I was afraid and dealing with things and the repercussions. It wasn't really until I was ready to see all of that, I think, that I was ready to, let go of the pain and the trauma of it. And now it's more of like an incorporated part of me, and, whatever comes. But I feel like that's what Barachiel wanted us to see and know, is that it's not about letting go. It's more about, what are you ready? What do we have the distance now to see the true blessing in? What is it in our human past, our collective past? What is it we are truly ready to go, oh, okay, I'm ready to process this now. I'm ready to be grateful for whatever that pain was, for whatever the trauma was, for however it hurt me, however it hurt other people. I'm ready to see how it can be made to be a blessing, because I feel like if God is the source and substance of everything, then there's everything can somehow be made to be a blessing. Either it makes you stronger, it teaches you something, whatever, you name it. Ask yourself, what have you been through in your life that is traumatic and difficult, but you managed to get through it, and now you see the blessing in it? What is it in your life that you've done that? So I think in the human collective, we're ready to let go of some stuff. And let's turn to the Oracle and Tarot cards for a little clarity. All right, so I'm a little nervous, to be honest, because I have no idea what this is going to be. But let's call in Barachiel, the beautiful Archangel of Blessings, to help us through this. I'm going to start with the tarot. That's where my comfort zone is. So let's see. Hanged Man. All right. So I'm getting that I should pull out all the tarot cards. The Moon. Beautiful. Is it just me? Or do a lot of major arcana cards come up in these readings? A tarot deck is 78 cards. 56 of them, I think 56, are minor arcana. That means only 22 are major arcana. So far we've got 2 major arcana and a 3rd major arcana. So I just think that's and major arcana is like the soul's journey. So it's they're important in a way. They give you the bigger picture. Death. Whew. I don't know what this means. What does this mean? 8 of Wands. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. 4 of Wands. Thank goodness. All right, what do we have here? Barachiel. All right, so the question was, so my original question was, what are we ready to let go of? What is the human collective ready to let go of? But how Barachiel wants us to rephrase it is, what are you now ready to see the blessing in? And so what I'm getting is that our human, over the past, and I'm going to say it, the past 3 or 4 years, this time that we've had to process what happened in 2020, 2021, and into 2022, and all that we've experienced. We're not here to just, have the experience and then move on, We're here to really think about it, to experience it, to process it, to see it. And I think what Barachiel is showing me here is that what we are ready to do is to see what happened, to see the flip that happened in the world from a brand new perspective. And death is usually an indicator of, not death, but transition. And the human collective did go through a major transition. The human collective, I'm seeing a pancake. Do you ever make pancakes and on the griddle you have a pancake and it looks very raw? And it looks raw and it looks raw and it looks raw until you flip it. And then the other side is, cooked and nice and golden brown. I think that's what happened to the human collective, is that we got flipped over. The human collective just got shown the other side. Wherever your mind was, going down your little cattle chute of, this is where I am, and this is my safety zone, and this is what I believe. In 2020 or 2021 or 2022, at some point you got flipped to the other side or saw something completely different than you had ever seen before. I think, and that's what the moon is telling us, is that we saw ourselves differently. We changed. You changed deeply. And It's time now to see it. It's time now to see it. The world radically shifted in a dramatic way, and we need to see where that led us. We need to see where it got us. So if maybe you lost your job due to the pandemic, if you were one of the, it breaks my heart, the poor kids. I mean, the poor kids, to have like such traumatic change, to not be allowed to go back to school for a year. And some of these kids, that was their final year. My cousin was one of those kids, I think it was, where it affected her final year of high school. And she wasn't a wallflower. This is a dynamic girl who was involved in so much. That heartbreaking what some people went through. Not only just changes, but death. This is transition, but literal death people went through. Losing loved ones. And losing loved ones not only to death, but losing loved ones to fear also. How many of you have lost a loved one to fear? In some way or another. Maybe you lost yourself to fear. Anyway, it's time now to see it. And it's time to see how this changed us and flipped us over and showed us some other parts of ourselves, including not only ourselves, but who's out there, all the people out there, all the people that you consider them. There's me, and I'm rational, but then there's all of them, all of you guys, and you're nuts, all of you. It's like everyone has that, I think, going on, where we understand our own point of view because we are centered in our own point of view, but it's very hard to understand other people's points of view, especially when they're very different from yours. And I think we got sort of smashed up against each other, and different points of view got, rubbed elbows. And there was a massive shift that happened these past few years. And I think that it's time for us to see the blessings in it, to see where it spiritually brought us. It's time to see it's time to actually see what was revealed. What was revealed? What was revealed? The moon is all about drawing these revelations. It sort of is like, how the moon pulls the water and makes the tides. I think it does the same with our psyche. It just pulls stuff out where we're like, where did that come from? You have this behavior or emotional reaction, or you see that happening in someone else and you're like, good gosh, what's that? The moon does that, and that's what happened these past few years. And the Hanged Man is like, it's time to see it. It's time to see it. What happened? Not just, from a surface level, but really see it differently, to see it brand new. And see how swiftly we all changed to become who we are today. And see the blessings, and see how strong you are, to see how much better you are. Even if you don't consider yourself better off, you are better off, you are stronger. And now it's time to see that for the collective. How are we collectively stronger? Which is a challenge because there's a lot of people, I'm myself included, who look at other people on the other side of the aisle or the other side of XYZ issue, like whatever the issue is that you're the most strongly, that you have the most strong opinions about. There's some people on the other side of that issue who totally believe the opposite. All right, so keep those people in your mind. How are those people better off now? How have we all gotten a little bit better off? How have we made it through this tough time and are ready to celebrate? Or what can we celebrate now? I think that's one of the messages too, is that as we move to this spring equinox, as we're moving through this spring season, and what are we ready to let go of? What are we ready to see the blessings in? It's not just for ourselves that we're ready to see it, but how can we see it for all other people as well? How can you see it for all of the people? Okay, there's a lot of sunshine coming across this table all of a sudden, illuminating this card considerably. Alrighty. Subtlety. Softer, muted, understated expression, not overbearing. I think what Barachiel is wants us to move on from, what Barachiel wants us to see the blessing in, are the little things, you know, the little tiny things, maybe that have shifted in people or in systems. How are we a little bit different now? What have we discovered about each other? You know, what have we seen about each other? And not only what have we seen about each other, but what are the weaknesses that we see now in our neighbor? So that'll help us moving forward to plan and take care of each other better, to care for those weaknesses, to really to band together. You know, we saw the weak spots in our society over the past few years, and I think those subtle little weak spots are where we need to focus our attention moving forward. So this is all about forward motion. This is not about turning around and looking at the past. This is about a major shift, really seeing ourselves differently, the collective, seeing the whole collective differently. All right, so let's do these cards next. We've got shadow. Oh yeah. Scarcity. Oh man. Illusion. Oh my goodness. And healing energy. Oh my gosh. This could not be more, I say this every reading. It couldn't be more clear. Shadow, scarcity, illusion. Shadow, scarcity, illusion. That's exactly what was shown to us. That's exactly what we saw. The years that have gone by since 2020. We saw a lot of scarcity. We saw the shelves wiped clean of all the things we need. We saw family members remove themselves from our lives. We saw scarcity in so many different ways. Scarcity, you know, maybe there was people with money issues. Maybe, how did the scarcity show up in your life? How did it show up in your neighbor's life? The shadow, the dark parts of ourselves. This is the part that you don't want to look at. The shadow is the aspect of you that you would rather not see, that you avoid, that you don't want to incorporate or transmute or see as a blessing. You'd rather just see it, never see it again. That's what the shadow is. And so, illusion, that's the moon. I think we've been through so much. We've seen each other in radically different ways. I think we've been through a lot, and we're ready now to open our eyes and let go of the illusion. Yeah, illusion. Let go of the illusion that we've been clinging to. You know, that there's people out there that are different from us. You know, those crazy people over there. They're a little bit nuts. Yeah. I think we all have that. We're ready to just drop the illusion and really see, to really embrace what has happened. Where is and in order to see the blessing, the healing energy that Barachiel is bringing into us so strongly, in order to really bring in that healing energy, to transmute everything that has happened, we have to see the shadow. We have to see where we were denying ourselves and each other the things that we need. We have to take a look at the illusions that kept us maybe from embracing one another. Literally, you know, in 2020, who didn't you hug? You know, and was that an illusion or was it not an illusion? It's up to you to decide. But what I'm getting here is that it's time to open your eyes, to really see what we've been through, to see what maybe you didn't want to see how things have changed. How has your family changed? How have you changed? I have 2 more cards. I have room for them, but I think I should move this up. Whew. All right, Barachiel, what do you got for me? passion, pride, desirability, the peacock. The peacock. What is the peacock? Oh, the peacock is beauty. Hidden beauty. So have you ever seen a peacock with their plume not all spread out? I think there's peacocks at this local like farm market that my nieces and nephew and I go to, and he hasn't been walking around like that. If I recall correctly, because this little enclosure has a bunch of different birds, and usually I think my niece loves to point out the weird looking chicken with the puffball on his head. But there's peacocks in there too. And so it's time to really see the beauty. Spread out your feathers and see. There is beauty to be seen. There's beauty in pain. There's beauty in transition. There's beauty in it. There is total beauty when you stop and you appreciate the blessings of what has happened. You are looking at beauty. You are looking at your own growth. It's like looking at a rose, like the rosebud, when it's still a tight little bud. You know that there's beauty in there. You know there is. It's just not unfurled yet. It's still nice and closed. I think the peacock is reminding us that there is more beauty to be seen and had and found here. We have to be ready now to just not move on, but see. But really have the distance to see, to have the presence of mind, to shift our perspective, to see where we've been, and to really see how we've changed, and see where the blessings lie. That only when we're looking at scarcity, shadow, and illusion can the healing energy come in. And look at this card. It is so, total sunlight. Isn't that gorgeous? That is so beautiful. So pretty. Healing energy. It's like the earth wants to heal, but it can only heal when we shine the light of our perception. So that's why the Hanged Man here is, his head is all lit up, because his crown and his third eye, he's seeing something from a new point of view. He's been enlightened. And only when you stop and look from a different perspective does that enlightenment come. So there's beauty to be seen in where we've been. There is beauty to be seen in where we've been. What are you now ready to see the blessings in? Maybe you're still in some sort of difficult transition. Maybe you're still reeling from some difficult transition, or maybe you're totally past your difficult transition and now you're ready to really look at it and go, wow, look at what we went through. Only way to move on is, I think, to stop and take stock on where we're going. We are shifting and changing. This is not a process that's going to stop. I think we're at a plateau point. I think that's what Barachiel is telling us here. We're at this nice little plateau where we can just, where were the blessings? How can we bring healing energy into the world? How can we express beauty? How can we see beauty in what we've been through? Let's take the pieces of what we've been through and make it beautiful. There is beauty in the past. There is beauty in the past. There is no beauty in closing your eyes and ignoring what the human collective has been through. There is no beauty in that. There is no purpose in that. There is only purpose when you are ready to see. That's why this guy is looking. He's got his eyes open. He's seeing differently. For those people who want to just, close the book on our history, I think it's time to really just process. I think the only way to let go, Barachiel is right, is to process, to see, to accept the blessings. God won't stop trying to bless you until you accept the blessing, Your pain has a blessing. Your joy has a blessing. It's easier to get the blessing from a joyful thing than a painful thing, but sometimes it's the painful things that actually bring us the biggest blessings. Admit your faults. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I'm having a very ooh, like visceral reaction to that. Look at that card in your phones. Right next to this beautiful, desirable peacock here. What is that telling us, Barachiel? What is the message? I think Barachiel wants us to see the beauty and the faults next to each other. Yeah, we're beautiful creatures. We've done some beautiful things, but we've done some really not so nice things. What have we done? It's time to open our eyes. You know, here's the hanged man, eyes wide open, looking at his world, seeing himself from a different point of view. He's ready to see the good and the bad. He's ready to see the shadow. He's ready to see the scarcity, the illusion, and bring healing energy to it all. The blessing can only come when we see. So I think these three have a whole lot to say. This is it in a nutshell, really. And it's not just the big things, but all the little things. Keep your eyes open for. So, what are we ready to let go of? What are we ready to see the blessing in? Only you have the answer to that question. But from this reading, it tells me that I think collectively, I think we're ready to see. We're ready to take a look without being triggered at all that has happened, not only to your group of people, but to the other group of people. And I do tend to talk in terms of us and them, mainly because I feel like most of us have that idea, because we are very much divided. So the people who like Biden and the people who like Trump, there's not a whole lot of overlap there. All right, there's not a gray area where you can they're both great or they're both terrible. Maybe that's one overlap, but we're very much, I think, divided right now still. And I think this Barachiel is just asking us not to come together, but just to see the blessing. How did your neighbor change? What did your neighbor go through? What did your city or town go through? What did your state go through? What changes did the rest of the country go through? What happened elsewhere in the world? How can we as the human collective really see the blessings in how we changed and how we were strengthened? How we were gifted the beautiful opportunity to see our shadow collectively. It's time to see it. It's time to reap the blessings of looking at the shadow, of looking at our world from a different perspective, to see what was previously hidden, to see how we changed, all of us together. This beautiful journey of the soul. The major arcana here. Oh, this is interesting. We've got 12 and then 13. We've got 12 and then 13 right next to each other. I'm going to put them next to each other. There they are. Seeing something differently, and then seeing transition come and take it away. That's exactly where we are. That's exactly where we are right now. That's what Barachiel wants to do, is to become this hanged man, to see the blessing in everything that has happened. And only then can it be truly transmuted. Can we shift and change and move into this new space, this space of blessings, this space of healing energy. I could go on and on. I know I could. So I should stop right now. And yeah, so my prayer for you is that I hope and pray that your eyes be opened to all the blessings that you've been through, that you've been gifted. And I hope this spring your healing energy is able to sweep through your world. Amen, amen, amen. That's all for today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.